So this video is going to concentrate on 8 things to not waste your money on about your car. You know, when you go in, they say, oh, you need blah, 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 blah. So they're saying these are the things you don't need and why. So the first one is I can't even spell it, transmission flushes. So I'm going to spell that because you could do transmission. I do this like with the motor or an engine, but I wouldn't do that for a transmission. It's the whole thing to gear, so I would probably spell it to flush it. So it says, because many people say, oh, don't do that. And then some people say, yeah, you probably should. So they're saying to not do that because it costs about $150 to $200, and they're saying that they're trying to get rid of, dislodge, get rid of, break up, or whatever, you know, to dislodge it. And it says that that can lead to different issues or problems. Issues is really a problem, right? Because you don't know what that issue might be. So I like to sign it as problems, unless it depends on how like someone is saying it's like I have an issue, right? Or sometimes I'll say it's problem. So issues really mean problems. So I like to sign problem for that. And some people, you know, they know that already, but they said that go ahead and do the recommended fluid. I'm going to do, this can be gas, so I'm going to do fluid because this is kind of like liquid, right? The fluid, what was I saying? The fluid changes. They swap out, changes. You could do either one. And it tells you from your car owner manual, and who reads that? Anyway, they said to recommend doing that instead of that flush, but to do the changes. I'm going to say replacing or changes, because I'm not sure when they say change, are you changing it or are you replacing it? So this is replace and this is to change. So sometimes it's important to know that. Okay, and then next is the fuel. So this is because you're putting the gas in the car, in the tank. Fuel, gas, whatever you want to use it. So fuel system cleaning service. And because they say all kinds of different junk gets in there in your engine, right? Because it goes, you can do that for pistons or whatever, but it's engine, how it moves in the car. And it says that they may need cleaning regularly, so that, oh, it sounds good, I should do that to prevent something wrong happening. But they say it costs about $100 to $150, but it's not necessary because it's saying that most modern fuel systems already, or the fuel itself, modern fuel itself has cleaning agents. So it's not really a person or an agency. It already has cleaning detergent or cleaning already. Soap, you could even do soap, cleaning soap or cleaning agents, things, materials. That's interesting. But it does, you know, detergents is a soap, right? So it already has, modern fuel has cleaning soap, detergent in it already. So he said to do that, to follow all of your maintenance schedule that's in the owner's manual. And it says to use that top, you know, grade. That's not really, this is like a grade like in school, but you could say it's above my pay grade. I think that would still be useful. So you could do the top grade gasoline if you want, because it has more cleaning detergents in it. And then, and I see this sometimes when I go and get gas, many of the stations there will have this sign, or you know, they'll ask a question: do you want an additive? Do you want it cleaning? Do you want? And it'll ask you the different things if you want it, you know, while you're filling up. So the answer should be no. But they said the octane booster additives, so we can boost additives. Boost, this is to encourage, right? But to boost something up, boost additives. Um, it says if your car requires that high octane gas or fuel, use it. And that way, he said, you can avoid any additives. So don't get the additives because it's more expensive. So it says it's $10 to $15 for the additive, but if you don't need it and if your car requires that high octane, then you should use that. Like if it's an expensive, fancy, expensive car. Okay, and then the quick fix products, and that's for like the engine oil stop leak, the coolant leak stop, seal, those little rings, to restore it, set up again to restore. The head, I'm going to do some English because there's not really a sign for that. So a head gasket would be fine. Fixes, they are for emergencies only. So like if you buy that product like at an auto, parts store, he said that's for emergencies only. But many people use it for long term, and you shouldn't use it for long term. But he said if your car breaks down, buildup breaks down, you can use those products. But whenever you arrive home safely, you need to do the correct repair. Now this is right, means correct, and this means right the direction. So don't mix those two up. Right is for the direction and right is for correct. He goes, and then do the correct repair and flushes, and flush out those products. If you do the correct repair, then those products that you used for temporary fix, then they can flush it out. Just tell them that you use that and they can fix it. But if you use it long term, then you can have like damage, in your engine. But for short term, it's not going to, bother it. They can flush it out. Because he said that the repairs for that long term use is like $1,000 and up. So anyway, the next one is expensive car waxes. Wax on, wax off. And it says, if your car is expensive or fancy, then you could do that if you want, like one of those superior, priorities, right? That top. Then you can do that. Like if you've had like maybe a custom or special paint job, then you maybe want to do that. But just regularly, the wax on cars most of the time is going to be fine. So it says that they offer more protection than the less expensive ones. $10 to $30 is the range. It says it doesn't offer a lot more protection than the cheaper ones. So you would save that $10 to $30. So you don't have to buy the expensive fancy waxes. You can just buy a regular wax because your paint is not going to come off, except if it's a special type of paint job. Custom, you could spell it, but you could also do a special paint job. That's probably how I would do it. And engine flush, he said they're recommended during an oil change, and I'm going to do change, not change, because they do replace it. They have all your oil out, and then they put in new, right? So, but it can cost $100 to $200. So he said the idea for that is to remove, I'm going to say, he says sludge, but it's dirt, so dirty or dirt. Um, but he said that modern engines and high quality oil that you put in your car anyway don't require that service except if there's a specific problem. So he said don't spend the money and it should be fine. Just do your regular oil changes, regularly, and it should be fine. And then for the tires, and this is a very southern sign for tire, you know, tire, I don't know why, but it is. So a tire, so some want to, fill your tire with nitrogen. And I don't think I've heard that. Anyway, and it says that, instead of air. And it says it costs $20 to $50 for each tire, but it's not necessary. He said that nitrogen does reduce the speed that your tires lose pressure, but the benefit is just a little bit. I would say a little bit. This is negligible. It's nothing. It's very little bit for most people. He said just regularly check your tire pressure and fill it whenever you need to. And it's cheaper, right? More economical. And then for the wiper blades. So some people want to get like the top notch or top or most expensive. Because of the concept, you can sign that in several different ways. So make sure that you understand the concept when they say that, like premium, it's top of the line, or it's the best, or something like that, or the expensive kind. So that all means premium, right? So it says that, so sometimes people think, oh, I need the expensive kind so I can see better for the windshield wipers. But it says that it's not true, that most of the time, $50 on these expensive wiper blades is really just a waste of money. He said the difference is just very minimal. But if you replace the wiper blades regularly, it should be fine. You don't need the expensive, but you're going to see, you will see a difference with, like if you've had them for years and years and years and years, and then you get new ones, you're going to go, oh my gosh, yes, I needed these expensive wiper blades. But really, he's saying that if you replaced them regularly, wiper blades, then you wouldn't need the expensive kind. You're not going to see that big of a difference. Big difference. See, that's when you don't have to say big difference. You can go a difference, right? Big difference, because you've already done it with your body language, your facial expressions, and your sign is bigger. So it says that just get some good wiper blades, not just the cheapest kind that you can buy, but get some good ones. And you're not going to need that really expensive kind, because if you swap them out, regularly, which I don't know what regularly is, right? It just says regularly. I think it's in your owner's manual. It has like a maintenance schedule, and it probably tells you. So anyway, so those are the 8 things that don't waste your money on, and many people don't because they think, I just don't have the money. But they're thinking maybe I should, but they're saying you don't have to if you do those other things. Checking on those things regularly, switching out your oil regularly, switching out your windshield wipers regularly, doing the quick fixes, and then, taking your car and fixing it, but tell them that you use that product. So hopefully this will save you some money, and then you have learned some signs and know that there's not a lot of signs with some things that you would prefer or you wish there was. Like nitrogen you would use the sign, the chemical sign, but I don't know what nitrogen chemical sign is. There's some that I know, like oxygen and things like that. And so I do use the periodic table code for those. And if I was in a chemistry class and using nitrogen quite a bit, then I would learn that and use that. Otherwise, if you're not going to use it, because most people don't really know what those chemical, um, you know, is. H2O, everybody knows that's water. And oxygen is O2 and CO2 is carbon dioxide. So a lot of people know those things, but not maybe nitrogen per se. Potassium is K. So sometimes you just wouldn't, unless you're in that environment, you wouldn't know that. So that's why I would spell nitrogen. Unless you're going to be spelling that a lot, and then I would probably use, or using that word, I would probably find out the chemical sign for that was on the periodic table, and then let your deaf person know what that is, so they would know. Oh, okay. Because otherwise, if they don't know, they're going to go, "What's that?" So you want to make sure you're clear, and they can understand. And that's the whole point of communication, right? With anyone, is that they understand. If I said, I need to take some K, they're going to go, "What is that?" And it's like potassium, it's like, why didn't you just say that? So sometimes we have to really kind of look and see, what is it that we're doing? Are we doing it correctly at ASL, or we are communicating correctly, which is the best? So, and of course it's communicating. So have a good day and practice, and I will see you all later. Bye.